Alright, this is defending every single cheese with the mech opening. Um, yeah, okay, I guess we'll start with 2 den. 2 den will generally hit before this castle, or the first wolf will hit before this castle is started when you're doing the mech build. One thing that's really important with the mech, if you're opening mech, is the SimCity has to be good. So the SimCity building placement is absolutely crucial. Ideally on a map such as Ravaged, you're going to have a place where your worker is able to build the castle and also is protected by this Gatling gun. On other maps, maybe that won't be possible. What you would do is you would purposely put a gap between your castle and your workshop, and then the house would like fill a different wall somewhere else. And then, so essentially what you would do is you basically want to create a gap where, a choke point where there's two tiles, and that's where your Gatling gun will be, and it will defend. That's basically the general logic behind it anyways. So if you are playing against a 1 den or a 2 den, 1 den and 2 den, the initial part is pretty much exactly the same. Honestly, the whole thing is pretty much exactly the same. What you do is as soon as you see it, you'll have like nothing. You'll have a wolf here, and you have your Gatling gun maybe like 80% done, and you will have like a worker that's about to come to build a castle. What you do, you pull like four workers total. You bring this one back so that you can come with the additional workers, make it 4, and then come. And then what you do is you try to just surround the wolf by mineral locking. And then ideally you want to time it so that these workers arrive at the choke point at the same time your Gatling gun pops. So yeah, you want to be looking at this and you want to time it so that your Gatling gun pops at the same time. So that you're immediately there and you're able to surround your Gatling gun and protect it from the wolves. And then you want to build your castle right like over here, just to create that the full wall or the wall the choke point that you need. And essentially you put the Gatling gun. So you would like time it. You put the Gatling gun in front. You put these wolves or the workers behind, and have them repair the Gatling gun. And the wolf should not be able to go fast. Maybe sometimes with the first wolf, they'll just run past and they'll just get into your base. Ignore it. Just keep your workers. Don't like chase the wolf. Just bring your workers with here and just get to the choke point with them, and then continue building the castle. And then you're just gonna chill here. Once this Gatling gun is out, you can pull 2 of your workers back. Just leave two of your workers here. You don't need all of them. You don't need all 4 of them. Generally, once this is here, you just hold position. They'll start attacking the house from this side. They'll start attacking maybe the workshop from this side. You can just, if that happens, just repair it. You might be tempted that you'll lose it, but most of the time you won't. My advice is, as soon as this happens, you go for a mill before. If you want to be extra safe, you go for 2 Gatling guns. If you want to just play a little bit greedy like I tend to do, you skip the second Gatling gun entirely, just trusting that you'll be able to repair it and it will just never die, and just go for a mill immediately. That's what I would do.
As you wish, sire.
Yeah, you might lose your house, but if you're really worried about losing your house, you can just even build a catapult to protect your house from the other side. One thing to note is actually when you do start your work, your additional units, you just gotta know when they pop. So generally they'll pop literally at the middle point of any side, so they won't come up on a corner unless it's like blocked. So if it's like, for example, if this was like completely blocked like this, then they'll come out at a corner. But generally, even if you have your thing over here, they'll come out at the middle, as you can see, like this. So you should just be something just to be aware of. In that case, you would, like, bring your workers to make sure it doesn't die, that sort of thing. So essentially, hold the choke point. As long as you don't get surrounded, you should be fine with repairing. You can right-click repair to auto-repair. but that can get a little bit messy. For example, if a house is or a building is being destroyed, and if you have more than one unit on auto repair, then they'll both try to attack it, even if there is like they'll both try to repair it, even if there is a unit that is already damaged. So be aware, something to be aware of. You'll have both of your workers trying to repair the same thing, while there's a unit that isn't being repaired. So just something to be aware of. Against 2 racks. So you would defend the first raider, like I told you in the previous video, with the worker behind. You would know it's a 2 racks by the addition of the second and third raider coming like really quickly. As soon as you see the second raider, you're okay. But if you see a third raider immediately coming at the same time, that's when you have to abandon your choke point. Oops. Just restart this so we don't just lose the CPU here. The 2x raider, you have to immediately abandon the place you are and go to a mineral line, any mineral line where you have workers. So generally, at that time, you probably have like 5 workers here. Go to the mineral line. I guess it's better like I'll show you a little bit better. But yeah, so you'll have like 2 Gatling guns here. You'll see 3 like right here, ideally. And then what you do is you immediately bring it to your mineral line. You immediately bring your workers out and attack. Like here, you would attack, and then you would repair your Gatling guns, make sure it doesn't fall. That sort of thing. That's and then as you're doing that, once you've defended initially, just put down a tower, and you should be fine. The important thing is you don't want to hold this position here. Actually, you can if you're fast enough and your workers get here immediately. But yeah, you just want to keep your Gatling guns with your workers at all times so that they can be immediately repaired. And you can obviously use, or ideally you want to use the workers to tank for your Gatling guns. So you want your workers to take the hits, and also if your Gatling guns do take the hit, you want to immediately repair them up. It takes 4 shots for a raider to kill a Gatling gun. So 2 raiders will 2-shot, 4 raiders will 1-shot. That's pretty much it. Against archers, 2x archers, you just basically win, honestly. As long as you have a catapult as your 3rd unit, you just basically win. You'll buy a little bit of time with, moving with all your workers, pulling them back if they get weak, that sort of thing. And obviously pulling back the Gatling guns if they get weak as well, so that your workers can repair them. If you're really scared, you can get a tower, but honestly, as long as you get the first catapult out, you should be fine. What other builds are there? Tower Rush. Okay, Tower Rush is pretty much a free win with Workshop. You still generally do go for the Gatling gun first, especially because a lot of the times people will not just do a single Tower Rush, they'll do a Tower Rush into something, or a Tower Rush with something. So they'll do a Tower Rush and they'll do a like raiders, or they'll do wolves or something like that. So that is something to be aware of. But honestly, you don't really need to do that. You can just go for a catapult, pull all your workers, and you should be fine. So with a tower, if you immediately start attacking, you only need 2 workers to prevent it from going up. If you'll notice that the health of it is slowly going down over time. But if you don't see it immediately in time, you can pull 3 workers. And then that should be fine to do enough damage to prevent it from ever going up. Obviously, you want to be targeting the worker that's building it in the first place if you can. But sometimes that isn't possible. Sometimes they'll do something like, oh, look at this. Like at the beginning of the game, they'll like wall your main off and stuff like that. Or they'll do stuff like they'll put like here, they'll put like a tower here, and then they also put like a house here so that they're completely walled off, so sometimes you won't be able to get at the worker. In that case, 2 workers if you immediately pull, 3 workers if you're a little bit late just to kill it. The one thing is sometimes they'll have like a tower out of range, and then they'll have a tower closer to follow it up, or they'll just have one tower that's in range of something, right? So if you do see like the tower completely go up like so, you can just pull all your workers and attack it. The tower will attack back, but you can just pull back micro. Generally people won't actually target fire, but if they do target fire, you want to pull back right after it does the first tick of damage, or it takes the first damage, or else you won't be able to get away in time. So in that case, I was a little bit late. In this case, it should be fine, and it will survive. But yeah, generally, if you do see just a single watchtower with no backup tower, then you can just pull all your workers and kill it immediately. If there is another backup tower, you just wait for your catapults to finish, and then you just outrange them, and you're totally fine. Also, one thing you can do, I guess I didn't mention this in the Beast and Rax videos, but you can tower rush their tower, and you'll just have more workers to repair. So if both of the towers like are in range, so as soon as you see this, you just see this being built, you just also build a tower. You're gonna have more workers because you're closer to your base, and they just must have sent one. So essentially, they'll complete as long as you're within range of the far side. Then you'll be able to target down their repairing worker, and then their watchtower, and then you just cycle through your workers as they repair. So you would like repair the castle, and as soon as it gets low, you just pull that one back, bring the next one in, pull that one back, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me quit this, but the CPU will not ignore me. Next, what do we have? We went over that. One base Cata drop and Werewolf Rush. So Werewolf Rush is actually probably the easiest to stop with mech, just because Gatling guns, they inherently have a 5 armor penetration, so they do like 18 damage essentially, versus the werewolves. So it basically renders their armor inert. So if you did go for the advanced workshop, then you're going to be able to put caltrops, and if the caltrops are in the base or in there, or if the werewolf stops and steps on a caltrop, then it can't move very well for a while. So easy kill there. You just want to kite with your Gatling guns. If you did go for mill, you can also do the same thing. One thing to note is you can just with one house, that's the wrong placement, but with one house you can completely make it so that 2x2 units can't get through, as you can see. So that means the werewolf wouldn't be able to get through here. So that would be annoying for sure for the werewolf player. They'll have to start targeting your buildings instead, while your units behind just do free damage to it, essentially. And then gyros are pretty good as well. You can just continually shoot them down without them being able to shut you down as well. And then for other races or for other factions, I tell them, hey, always get an advanced workshop, but you're already going to have an advanced workshop or a mill. So that will be your anti-air if they do go for the one base werewolf drops. Tower near natural, tower near main if you do see it, but most of the time you'll be very passive with mech and you won't see it until it's already there. But even so, you should be able to react accordingly and you'll be fine, honestly. Mech is probably the best race to deal with, or the best opening to deal with the one base werewolf cheese. So, one base catapult or cata drops, advanced workshop ballista. If it's gyros, you just want to make sure you target down the worker if they pull a worker, and then bring a worker with the cata drop, and then the airship, of course, and you should be good. So the most dangerous cheese when you're playing mech is the 2 Rax Raider, but other than that, everything should be relatively simple to hold. If you have any questions, let me know. And that's it.